The most powerful poison doesn't come in a bottle. It drips from your own mouth, disguised as words. Yeah, they seem pretty harmless, right? Just some sounds coming out of your mouth. Some vibrations in the air that disappear faster than your motivation on January 2nd? Well, not quite. They don't actually disappear. They stick, they build, they create, or they destroy. And right now, you're probably destroying yourself without even realizing it. Look, I'm not here to motivate you. Motivation is like a sugar rush, and I'm obviously not selling candy. I'm here to wake you up to something that's literally ruining your life while you scroll through TikTok thinking everything's fine. Let me tell you a quick story, one that's going to stick with you. It's about Sarah, a bright little girl who loved to sing. The kind of kid that would light up a room just by existing. Pure joy on tiny legs. Always singing, always dancing, always being exactly what a kid should be. Alive. But one day, everything changed. Her mom came home after a long day at work, exhausted, sick, head pounding like a drum concert. And her daughter? Just being herself. Laughing, singing, being that pure ball of energy kids are supposed to be. At first, she stayed patient, letting the little one burn it off. But the energy never faded, and eventually the mom snapped. "Shut up! Your voice is painful to hear." 8 words, that's all it took. See where this is going, that little girl? She made what I call a life agreement right there. She decided her voice was painful, that being quiet meant being loved, that shrinking herself was the only way to exist. From that day forward, she barely spoke. Even in school, she avoided attention. She grew up believing that silence was safer than expression, all because of one sentence said in frustration. Now, before you judge that mother, let's be real. We've all said things we regret when we're stressed, but here's where it gets scary. Those words didn't just hurt for a moment. They rewired Sarah's entire future. And if you're sitting there thinking, that's sad, but what's that got to do with me? Everything. Because we're all that little girl. Every single one of us. The only difference is the words that wrote our agreements. Maybe someone told you you're not smart enough, or creative enough, or that you'll never be good enough. And guess what? You believed them. You made that agreement. And you're still living by it. See, we love to think words are just words, that we can say something in the heat of the moment and it disappears. But it doesn't. It sticks. It shapes. And sometimes it damages. But here's where it gets really messed up. It's not just about what others say to us. It's about what we say to others and to ourselves. Because words plant seeds. And good or bad, those seeds grow. Let's be real for a second. What's your internal dialogue looking like? What do you tell yourself when you look in the mirror? When you make a mistake? When you're lying in bed at night, replaying that embarrassing moment from 3 years ago? Think about it. How many times have you said something like, "I'm so stupid. I'll never be good at this. I'm just not that type of person. This always happens to me." These aren't harmless thoughts. They're commands. And your brain? It listens. Every time you say something negative about yourself, you reinforce it. Imagine you have a friend who constantly says, "You're not good enough. You always mess up. You should just give up." Would you keep that person around? Probably not. Now, let's break this down even further. What if I told you that every single time you repeat a self-limiting belief, you're literally programming your brain to make it true? Let me tell you something you might not be aware of. Your subconscious doesn't argue with you. It takes whatever you say as an absolute truth. Say, "I'm bad at remembering names enough times." And guess what? Your brain goes, "Got it. I'll make sure you forget every name you hear." And don't think this only applies to negative stuff. The same principle works in reverse. Have you ever noticed how the most confident people in the world sound almost delusional? They say things like, "I'm the best. I always find a way. Success is inevitable for me." And over time, their brain makes it happen. It's like having a personal assistant who takes everything you say literally. You wake up and say, "Ugh, today's gonna suck." And your brain goes, "Cool. Let me filter out anything good and make sure you notice every tiny inconvenience instead." And that's exactly what's happening in your mind right now. You're programming yourself to believe certain things about who you are and what you're capable of. And what kills me is that you never question these beliefs. You just let them define who you are over and over and over again. And unlike that friend who puts you down, the one you'd cut off immediately, when it's your own voice saying these things, you let it run wild. If you always say, "I suck at speaking to people," you'll avoid conversations. If you tell yourself, I'm bad with money, you won't even try to get better. If you think, I'll always fail, you'll stop taking risks before you even start. So how do you stop this? First, you need to catch yourself. The next time you say something negative about yourself, pause. Would you say that to a friend? No? Then why are you saying it to yourself? Then you need to find a way to reframe it. Change I'm so bad at this to I'm still learning this, or I'm not where I want to be with this yet. Instead of I always mess up, try I'm improving every time. And of course, watch what you say to others. Your words become someone else's voice in their head. Are you planting confidence or are you planting doubt? And don't even get me started on gossip. You think you're hurting others when you talk behind their backs? That's cute. But you're actually programming your mind, making your agreement, setting your own limits. The mother in that story, she didn't mean to damage her daughter, but intentions don't erase impact. One sentence changed that girl's life, the same way your words are shaping yours right now. This isn't some feel-good fluff I'm selling you. This is ancient wisdom that's been proven by modern science. Every word you speak or think is like a line of code in your mental software. And right now, your program is probably full of bugs. And hey, since you're already here reprogramming the way you think and speak, why not make it a habit? Hit that subscribe button so you don't just hear this just once and move on. Let's keep stretching that mind of yours. Because here's the thing. Just like bad code can be fixed, so can this. You can debug it. You can rewrite the code. You can break that agreement. How? By making a new one. Be impeccable with your word. No more self-trash talk. No more gossip. No more letting negative words slip out just because you're tired or stressed. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, easier said than done. Yeah, no kidding. But you're already using words to shape your reality. You're just doing it unconsciously, letting others and your worst self write the script. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 24 hours, treat your words like they're worth $1 million each. Because in terms of their impact on your life, they are. Stop being a passive consumer of negativity. Start being an active creator of your reality. The world isn't going to fix itself for you. Words are flying everywhere, and yeah, that sucks. But you're smart. You're capable. You're adaptable. And you can fix this. You can change your words. And maybe, just maybe, that'll change everything else too. So the real question is, are you ready to stop making agreements that limit your life? Are you ready to use your words to build instead of destroy? Next time you open your mouth, ask yourself, am I reinforcing something good? Or am I quietly tearing something down? Because if you're not careful, the words you say today will become the limits you live by tomorrow.